Kristi Noem. Now, she is the Secretary of Homeland Security, also the governor of South Dakota. Now, she's doing Trump's bidding. It is indeed her job, along with folks like Tom Homan, to secure our border and deport illegal immigrants in this country. Nothing wrong with that. If you're in the country illegally, they have a right to deport you. No argument there, particularly if you've committed some crimes of sorts. Nevertheless, I'm going to make a case for how Kristi Noem in this video is being about as dishonest as one can be. And I'm going to present some of the wording from Trump to make the case. But nevertheless, in the process of defending the border, Kristi Noem is doing television commercials, lying her ass off. Here's a perfect example.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
1 minute video, but there's a lot there to unpack. First of all, she's stating that if you do not deport on your own, if you do not self-deport, you could be fined as much as $1,000 per day in prison and then ultimately deported anyway. So the goal is to get you out of the damn country if you're here illegally. Like I stated, there's nothing wrong with getting rid of folks that have no legal right to be here. But $1,000 per day, no illegal immigrant is going to be able to pay that. So even bringing that up is insane. Fact is, what that gives the Trump administration is potentially another avenue to keep you incarcerated for little to no reason at all, or perhaps start seizing assets from people you know or whatever, suggesting you're connected to it. $1,000 a day. Imagine if you've been here illegally and they can prove it for 2 or 3 years, and they're going to charge you $1,000 per day for that. So they're trying to pressure people to self-deport. I get it. But they're not going to collect $1,000 per day on any damn body. Anybody that could afford to pay $1,000 a day could afford to come here legally. But keep in mind what she states in the video. Now, she wants you to register on some sort of deportation immigration app and just leave. And here's the kicker of why I'm suggesting that she's lying her ass off. Because she states if you register and you self-deport, you could perhaps be allowed to return legally. That is bullshit. That is utter bullshit. Anyone that is registering through this app and self-deporting under the belief that they're going to somehow be allowed to come back in this country legally under the Trump administration has their head up their ass. Remember when Trump said this?
It's crazy what's going on. They're ruining our country. And it's true. They're destroying the blood of our country. That's what they're doing. They're destroying our country.
They're ruining the blood of our country. They're bringing diseases with them. Now, that's not even necessarily the primary reasons Trump speak out against immigrants. Here's a better one.
We have people coming into the country, trying to come in. We're stopping a lot of them. But we're taking people out of the country. You wouldn't believe how bad these people are. These aren't people. These are animals, and we're taking them out of the country at a level and at a rate that's never happened before.
The Democrats are telling him not to refer to immigrants as animals. He like, the hell with that. I'm going to call them whatever I want. But in addition to Trump referring to immigrants as animals or coming into the country bringing diseases with them, he's also stated that countries are emptying their mental facilities. Countries are letting prisoners out of prison and they're coming here. He's talked about everything from Muslim to Hispanic terrorists entering the country. Now he's designated MS-13 and Tren de Aragua as terrorist organizations themselves. And of course, he's stating that once they get to this country, in addition to passing around diseases like vermin, they also are committing crimes and harming the American people. So the obvious question is, have you ever heard Trump refer to immigrants in any way that is positive whatsoever? Anytime you hear Trump referring to immigrants, it's something negative. And I have not even gotten to the Haitian migrants are eating cats and dogs and all that other shit. Nevertheless, Trump continues on by saying that they are wrecking our country. Fact is, if they're doing all the shit that he's just stated, yeah, you're right, they're wrecking the country. But I don't know how much of that has been proven to be valid at all. But the reason I'm giving you Trump quotes in conjunction with Kristi Noem is because in her video, she claims that if you fill out this damn app and self-deport, you can legally one day potentially come back to the country. Who the hell believes that? Do you believe that at all? Under the Trump administration, if you fill out this app, your information on this fucking app they got, and self-deport, you may one day have a chance to return. That is absolute bullshit. When the man is saying all this negative stuff about immigrants, he doesn't like immigrants. I think you can kind of get the picture on that. He is 100% negative on immigrants. So the idea that you're going to be able to come back makes no sense at all. She continues on by saying, if you don't self-deport, you can be fined as much as $1,000 a day, in prison, and deported. Here's the problem on some of this stuff, particularly when you look at the national case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia with no due process and, how they send them to a maximum security prison. Here's what they have on this guy. He came in the country in 2011 at the age of 16, illegally. He's here illegally. That is a misdemeanor, by the way, but he's here illegally in 2016. During that time, I believe he was stopped during the traffic stop in Tennessee, and he had some suspicious characters in his vehicle, and they said he looked like he might be involved in human trafficking. No arrests were made or anything. It's just allegations that this guy might be up to no good, and the people he's associating with may also be gang members. That's another allegation. In addition to that, his wife in 2021 made an allegation, accused him of domestic violence. Once again, no charges, let alone any convictions on that either. And then in more recent time, a couple judges state that he is an MS-13 gang member or something of that nature. He has some tattoos on him. But out of all of this, coming in here in 2011 at the age of 16 to 2025 when he was deported, he hasn't racked up any actual criminal history at all. At all. And he's in maximum security prison. And I'll tell you this, Trump and his supporters are vocally stating if you enter this country illegally, you don't have the right to any damn thing at all, let alone due process. So pushing Abrego Garcia to the side, yet knowing what happened to him, would you trust that if you filled out this app for Kristi Noem and showed up to the border ready to self-deport, that they would just let you go? Maybe you got tattoos on you. Maybe you got a criminal history of sorts. Maybe they just think you're going to try to come back in a few years and they don't want you even making the attempt. So you end up in El Salvador. How do you even know? Yes, we're speculating, but you've seen about 1 million things at this point that Trump has said about immigrants that has turned out to not be true or greatly exaggerated. Remember, we started out with rapists and murderers. Now we're down to tattoos and you attended the wrong protest. So the idea that you're going to trust the Trump administration as an immigrant and fill out this damn app and self-deport and expect when you show up to an immigration or customs office that they're going to just let you cross the border and go home, you can't be totally sure that's going to happen. Fact is, a hell of a lot of immigrants who may want to self-deport are probably scared to do so because you're not for certain they're going to just let you leave. I tell you this, in my humble opinion, It's almost like if you have committed a violent felony as an American, like you bank robbed or, you committed some kind of dope deal or whatever, and there's a warrant for your arrest. There is no reward for turning yourself in. They're going to treat you the same way. If you're on the run and they finally catch up to you, they're going to treat you the same way as if you turned yourself in. So why rush to be prosecuted? If you're an immigrant, you're probably better off continuing to stay under the radar until they catch your ass and deal with the consequences then. Because you might be able to stay under the radar until a more friendlier immigration administration comes in, and maybe they'll change some of the rules and even allow you to stay. But if you turn yourself in now, they're not going to treat you any different than if Trump, Tom Homan, or Kristi Noem tracks your ass down in 6 months. The treatment is going to be the same. They're not going to treat you any different. So might as well hang around your family and friends until the door closes. Then expeditiously shut it right now. There's no reward for doing so. So let me know in the comments, do you believe Kristi Noem? Do you actually believe that if you self-deport, the Trump administration would potentially allow you to come back? No way in hell I believe that. The only way any immigrant is ever going to come back in this country after being deported during the Trump administration is for Trump to complete his term. America would have to elect a more immigrant-friendly administration, and they do it. Assuming Trump only is going to do 3.5 years, which is what the Constitution states. If Trump was to be president for the rest of his life, you would never be allowed to come back in. There's not going to be a time ever where Trump is going to be friendly to immigrants coming from the southern border. It's just never going to happen. But maybe you think I'm wrong. Feel free to smash that like button and let me know if you actually believe Kristi Noem. And would you fill out that damn app if you were an immigrant? As always, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.